Looking for clarity and confidence when it comes to decision making for your business? You've come to the right place. You're now listening to the Atomic Business Coaching Podcast.
I am Adam.
And I'm Tom.
And together we are Atomic Business Coaching,
where our stories are your solutions. And we just get better and better at that.
We do, Tom.
We managed to get better at that. So Adam, I was thinking about what we should talk about today. And I think one of the big things that, sometimes people are like, what the heck can you really do for us? What can you really do for me? Like, what is this whole business and life transition coaching that we talk about doing? And what does that really look like? And, when we think about it, when we're prospecting clients, we're looking for very specific things to be able to help them with, right? Because we want to make sure that people are a good fit for us and for our process, right? We don't just take anybody, right? We don't just say, oh yeah, definitely. Yeah, we'll work with you. No, we really vet our people because we want to make sure that we're working with people who connect with us, who energetically are in line with what we're doing, and that we know that that our process is really going to benefit them. So, Adam, what's something that you're looking for when we're prospecting people to see if this is someone we should work with?
That's awesome, man. I'm glad. It's fun, just coming up with topics on the spot. And anyone who doesn't know this, we don't prepare this. We just let's turn the camera on and talk. So that's a good one, man, because I have a cool story actually from last night. I had two clients that from my other business that were interested in doing this, and they just were not a good fit. They were not at a certain point in their business where I thought Tom and I could really launch them and take them to the next level. But I purposely invited someone to dinner last night. And the reason I did is I met with them the week prior. And this client of mine I've worked with for a long time in a different capacity. And they are really growing their business. And they finally experienced success. And it's not that this situation is the only type of ideal client, but this is just one I think is relevant to your question, Tom. Is this client finally experienced success, and they once worked for a corporation, and then they went out on their own and had a business. That business ended up failing because they had a partner that they just didn't align with. It didn't work. Then they decided again, I'm going to stay in the same industry, but I'm going to do it all on my own. And we set certain goals for them and what they had to achieve. They achieved this level of success, and it was basically enough success to pay the bills, right? It was nothing incredible, nothing amazing. But now they hit a point of transition. And that's truly what I look for when I'm looking for clients. And the point of transition is they started to have enough success where they were, number one, getting overwhelmed. They were making so much money they didn't know what to do with it. They had so much work they need to hire people. They didn't know, oh my gosh, do I want this big giant business, or am I going to lose my family in doing this, or am I going to be able to spend time with my kids? He told me, he's like, I'm worried. I'm not exercising the same anymore. So he was literally an ideal client for us. And I was sitting at coffee with him one morning, and he was saying all these things. And I said, you're ready. And he's like, for what? I'm like, I'm not going to talk to you about it now. Let's go out to dinner. Let's sit down and talk about it, because it's a kind of a shitty conversation to say, you're about to be so messed up that if you don't work with some people like Tom and I, which I've never found any other company that combines a life coach and a business coach. If you don't work with someone like us, you're either going to go out of business, or you're going to get divorced, or you're going to be miserable and depressed, or fat and lazy. And I'm like, I don't want to see that happen to you.
Right.
So it was really about all these key points, Tom, and they were at a critical time where they had to transition. And I'm so excited, and they hired us, they retained us, and we're going to start in a few weeks with them. So I'm excited to start that process with them. So that's one of the, there's not any specific, but it's usually about transition. And Tom, I think that one, just because it literally happened last night, is a perfect answer to your question. What about you?
Yeah, I totally agree. I totally agree with that. I think that you highlighted something that's very important that people don't fully understand at times, is that success is a transition point. success, failure is not necessarily the only transition point. Loss is not only the transition point. A change in a relationship is not just that, a transition point. Success is a transition point, because when you've worked so hard and now you start to experience it, and you experience a success beyond what you could have ever imagined. You say it all the time, Adam. We're going to work with you, and we're going to create such success that we're going to create new problems for you, and there's going to be new problems for you to solve thereafter, right? And that's one of the things that is really critical to understanding that we're going to take you through that transition of success and help you to be set up for that. And, I'm looking now, what you just described, what I'm looking for now is okay, he's talking about a lot of lifestyle stuff, right? And he's talking about concerns with relationships with his family because of his success. And he's looking at, how he's taking care of himself. And I'm always looking for what are the self-care elements that this person is engaged in? What is it that they need to create new boundaries for their own time, and then create the boundaries for their families so that they can continue to have success in all aspects of their life, right? Because this is not about balance. This is about harmony and making these things flow. And I'm looking for all of the places where a successful person is now becoming overwhelmed by their success and starting to lose what is critical to them and what has been there as a mainstay. And now we're creating disruption, because if there's disruption, there's a need for realignment, and that realignment needs to go into place in their self-care and in whatever their family situation may be, and making the time for the right people in their life as well. And I'm looking for, where can I help them really create harmony in this situation? And I love talking with people about, like, all right, so tell me about your relationship. Okay, when was the last time you went out with your partner for dinner? When was the last time you took your kid to the mall or to a movie? Or when was the last time you did those things? Because I'm trying to understand if this person recognizes that those things are suffering because of the success they may be having in their business and in their life, and in their business mostly. But the other thing I want to make sure is that we're not just here to create success in your business. We want to create success in your life. We want you to define what that success looks like for you, right? So I'm also looking for people who want to have a certain level of success as they define it, right? But some people don't know what their success means to them, especially when they've catapulted to this incredible place of success so quickly, and they've done everything, and they've put every energy and effort into it. Now it's, okay, what is success really? What does that really mean to me? And if I don't have my family, or I don't have my self-care time, or I don't have my time for me, and I don't know who I am, and I'm losing myself in that process, well, then how can I help align that for someone? And that's really what I'm looking for, to see that disjointedness and see where the breaks are in the bone, right? Because there could be a couple of fractures that we need to repair and make sure are healed. And then the things that come up with success are either a fear of failure or the fear of more success, right? So I'm looking for that fear and trying to understand if I'm going to have to work somebody through on that side, the fear ones, right?
Yeah, that, what you just said there about the successes, that was one of the biggest things that I spoke to this client last night. Is I said, you've had success now. They experienced success. And it could go sideways real quick, but I said, you now are in a position where you have the opportunity to redefine what success is for you. And they looked at me with such joy, and I'm not joking. I'm not elaborating. I'm not embellishing. He said, hold on, I have a tear in my eye. And he literally wiped his eye, because he finally had a freedom, and he realized that in that moment that he can. He is in a position that he can choose what his future success is, not just for his business. We talked about him and his wife going on a vacation alone for the first time. He talked about spending more time with his daughters. Like, this is something that he now gets to redefine what success is. And in that moment, we also spoke about how you can completely transition what the future of your business is, and how to be a business owner and not have just created a job for yourself. And that's something so many people get stuck
Right.
when they have a relative amount of successes. They end up just creating a job. And I'm trying to pull him back now to being a business owner. And when we discussed how you can pivot, and this business could actually create all of the other things you've wanted to do that you had a passion for, or you had a purpose in your life, but you didn't think it could make you money. Well, now we can take a chance on those things. And this person actually has 2 other things they've always wanted to do that I truly believe could be highly revenue generating. It's just they couldn't take the risk because they have a family. And when they realized that
Right.
I have the ability to define my success, it changed their whole persona in that moment.
What I hear you saying, Adam, about this client in particular is that it is so empowering when you recognize that you're in control of what that definition of success really means for you, right? It's an empowering moment. It's one of my clients, that has a business says, I give people permission to do what it is that they want to do. And I think we do that a lot of times when we help people to recognize that they hold their seat of power in their situation. And their seat of power is determining what their success looks like. And that is going to vary from person to person. But people get so caught up on the ideological, societal definition of success that it's always about money and it's always about, but what I love when I work through with this, especially when we're working with our clients is we're saying, no, you can define whatever your success looks like, and that's what's going to make you successful. If it is financial freedom, if it is the independence, if it is the time freedom, that's up to you to decide. We're not going to decide that for you. That's up to you to decide. And we do it in such a way where there is no judgment. And I think that's what's so important is people are so afraid of being judged for their definition of success, but they have to realize that their definition of success is the only one that matters. And that's what's really critical and important.
That is the very lucky position that we are in. And as you said, we truly vet out who is going to work with us. And as we started this, I said there were unfortunately 2 clients that I could not bring into this journey. And I think one day they will be able to. But that's why we have this podcast. We think that there are so many people that can listen to our stories and they can be their solutions, because Tom and I don't have the ability to work with each and every person. We're growing our capacity, we're building our company, but we think this is the outlet that more and more people can take a moment, an emotion, a tactic, a thought that we've had, and go ahead and change their lives. Or always reach out to us and we can try to have a conversation with you or message you, even if it's just for a moment. But we feel we're very lucky to do what we're doing, and not to pat ourselves on the back, but I think the people we choose to work with are very lucky too. And so far we have seen that they feel the same way when they go through our process.
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's so critical that people understand that they always have the choices. They always can choose what it is that they want for themselves. And we are lucky that we get to help people to make the best choices possible for themselves.
Thanks for tuning into the Atomic Business Coaching Podcast. We appreciate your time and hope you gain valuable insights from today's episode. We're excited to continue providing value in the future, so stay tuned for more episodes. In the meantime, be sure to check out Atomic Business Coaching at atomicbusinesscoaching.com or visit our Instagram page for even more unique insights. Thanks again for listening.